Do you ever wake up in the dead of night? Not because of a dream or a noise outside, but because something deep in your body insists you get out of bed? Maybe it starts with a subtle discomfort, a whisper from the bladder. Then it grows into a pressure you can't ignore. So you shuffle to the bathroom in the dark, maybe gripping the edge of the nightstand for balance, trying not to wake your spouse, trying not to stub your toe again. You relieve yourself, return to bed, and stare at the ceiling. The room is quiet, but your mind is suddenly wide awake. You wonder if you'll fall back asleep. You wonder if this is just what aging means now. Nights that no longer feel restful. Sleep that comes in pieces instead of peace. If that's you, if you're waking once, twice, even 3 times a night to pee, I want to tell you something that may surprise you. It's not just your age. You haven't failed your body, and your body hasn't given up on you. Most of the men and women I see who struggle with nighttime urination assume it's inevitable, something they just have to accept. But more often than not, there's a simple, correctable reason behind it. A quiet mistake, one you likely don't even know you're making. Let me tell you about someone I worked with not long ago, a retired mechanic named Tom. Tom is 68, widowed, soft-spoken, the kind of man who spent more time taking care of engines than his own body. When he came into my office, he didn't want to talk about feelings or fears. He just wanted sleep. "Doc," he said, "I haven't slept through the night in 3 years." He looked worn down, not sick exactly, but frayed, like a shirt that's been washed too many times. He'd wake at 2:15 a.m. like clockwork, then again before sunrise. Every night, he'd fall asleep fast, but never stayed that way. It was starting to eat into everything. His patience, his energy, even his memory. He'd done all the right things. No coffee after lunch, no water after 6 p.m. He kept a little flashlight by the bed so he wouldn't trip on the dog. He thought maybe it was just the price of getting older. And I understand that because for many people, aging feels like a slow theft. First, the deep sleep, then the energy in the morning, and eventually even your confidence in your own body. But I've seen too much to accept that explanation at face value. So we sat down and went through Tom's daily routine. Not just his nights, but his days. And that's when the pattern started to emerge, a pattern I've seen time and again in men and women over 55. It wasn't his nighttime behavior that was the problem. It was what he was doing during the day, something most people never think twice about. Before we go there, I want to give you a clearer picture of what's happening inside your body. You see, your kidneys, those 2 bean-shaped organs nestled in your back just below the ribs, are always filtering your blood, deciding what to keep and what to send out as urine. But they don't work at a steady pace 24 hours a day. Like you, they follow rhythms. During the day, they're more active. At night, in a healthy, well-tuned body, they slow down. Your body actually produces a hormone called vasopressin, a kind of messenger that tells the kidneys, it's time to rest, hold the fluids. This allows you to sleep through the night without your bladder filling up like a leaky bucket. But here's the catch. As we get older, our bodies don't produce as much vasopressin. That means your kidneys don't get the memo to slow down. On top of that, if you're a man, your prostate, that small gland just below the bladder, may be slightly enlarged, pressing on the urethra and making your bladder more sensitive. If you're a woman, changes in pelvic floor muscles or a drop in estrogen can create similar pressure and urgency. Still, these changes alone aren't destiny. They set the stage, yes, but they don't write the whole story. Your daily habits, especially how and when you hydrate, play a leading role in whether you sleep through the night or don't. And that brings us to the real culprit, a mistake so common, so seemingly harmless, that most people make it without thinking. I call it the hydration trap. Let's go back to Tom for a moment. When I asked him how much water he drank during the day, he shrugged. "I sip a bit with lunch," he said. "Mostly drink something with dinner. Gotta take my pills, you know." That was the key. Like many older adults, Tom drank most of his fluids in the late afternoon and evening. A glass of water with dinner, maybe a little juice while watching the evening news, a full glass before bed to wash down medication. On paper, it looked responsible. He was hydrating. But in reality, he was doing what so many people do, underhydrating in the morning and early afternoon, Then, catching up later in the day. By the time he went to bed, his bloodstream was full of water that his kidneys needed to process. And without enough vasopressin, his kidneys didn't hold back. They just kept working. By 2 a.m., his bladder was full and his sleep was over. Now, I want you to think about your own habits. Be honest with yourself. Do you wake up feeling thirsty? Do you forget to drink water in the morning because you are busy or distracted, then find yourself chugging fluids later on? Do you take medications at night that require a full glass of water? None of these things are bad on their own, but together, they can add up to a perfect storm. You may be setting your bladder up for a nighttime flood. What makes this so frustrating is how subtle it is. No one tells you that when you drink matters almost as much as what you drink. And so, you suffer in silence. You wake up groggy, maybe a little irritable, and chalk it up to getting older. But the truth is, your body is still incredibly capable. It just needs you to listen differently now, to treat it like the wise, weathered machine it is. I remember asking Tom to try an experiment. For 3 days, I asked him to drink most of his fluids before 2 p.m. I told him to carry a bottle with him in the morning. Not a huge one, just enough to remind him to sip steadily. I asked him to taper off in the afternoon and avoid drinking more than a few ounces after 6 p.m. He was skeptical. "Doc," he said, "that's not going to make a difference." But by the third night, something changed. Tom woke up once, just briefly, around 5:30 a.m., then fell back asleep. The next night, he didn't wake up at all. After a week, he came back to see me. There was a lightness to him. He looked rested, not 10 years younger, but more himself. That's the difference sleep makes. It's not just rest, it's repair. It's where your immune system resets, your memory consolidates, your hormones balance. When you rob your body of deep sleep, night after night, everything else starts to fray. But when you protect it, even with a simple change like fluid timing, the body responds. It always wants to heal, if you give it the chance. And so I want to offer you the same experiment. Try front-loading your fluids. Aim to drink more water between breakfast and lunch. Keep a glass by your side in the morning. Make hydration a morning habit, just like brushing your teeth. Then, as the day goes on, taper off. If you take medications at night, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about whether they can be moved to an earlier time or whether a smaller volume of water will still be safe. If you need a sip in the evening, that's fine. But let it be just that, a sip, not a glass. These small changes, when done with intention, can reset your rhythms. Your body is listening. It always has been. What it needs now is rhythm, predictability, and a bit of kindness. You don't need a new bladder. You don't need expensive supplements or special teas. You just need to stop sending your kidneys mixed signals. You might not see the change immediately. That's okay. Healing isn't a switch, it's a slow turning of the dial. But I've seen this work over and over again. For men like Tom, for women who've been waking 3 times a night for a decade, for people who thought this was just what getting old feels like. It doesn't have to be. And here's something I want you to carry with you as you try this. Your body may be older, but it is not broken. You are not broken. The systems that guided you through your youth, the ones that gave you strength, helped you work long hours, raised families, carried pain, they're still inside you. Maybe a little quieter, maybe they need more care now, but they're still there. When you wake in the middle of the night, it's easy to feel defeated, easy to believe that rest is something you've lost for good. But I want to remind you, even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your body still wants to cooperate, still wants to heal. Sometimes it just needs you to meet it halfway. Now, I want to share with you some of the specific guidance I give to patients like Tom. Simple steps rooted in real physiology and respect for the body's rhythms. These aren't complicated routines or expensive treatments. Instead, they are small shifts that invite your body to return to its natural balance. First, think about your fluid intake, not as something to cram into the evening, but as a steady morning and afternoon affair. The morning hours are your best window for hydration because your kidneys can process fluids more efficiently then. carry a water bottle with you in the morning. Sip regularly and let your body know it has what it needs well before dusk. Then, as the day wears on, gently reduce your intake. Salt is another quiet player in this story. Salt pulls fluid into your bloodstream, increasing the volume your kidneys must filter. When consumed later in the day, salty foods can tip the balance toward those unwelcome nighttime awakenings. Try to savor your savory meals earlier in the day and keep the evening plate lighter on salt. It's not about strict deprivation, but about timing and respect for your body's ebb and flow. Movement matters too. In the late afternoon, consider a gentle walk or even sitting with your legs elevated for a bit. Why? Because fluid can pool in your legs during the day, especially if you sit for long periods. Elevating your legs helps that fluid return to your bloodstream earlier, giving your kidneys a chance to filter it before bedtime. This simple act often makes a surprising difference. It's like telling your body, "We're preparing for rest now." I know these suggestions may seem small, even trivial compared to the frustration you feel night after night, but what matters is consistency and intention. The body is a patient teacher, and it responds to rhythms and signals more than quick fixes. Your kidneys, your bladder, your heart, they all want to work with you, not against you. And this is where hope comes in. Sleep isn't just the absence of wakefulness. It's the sacred pause where your body repairs muscle, processes memory, balances hormones, and replenishes the energy you need to greet each new day. Imagine waking up and feeling a deep, satisfying rest. Your mind clear, your mood steady, your body energized. It's possible. You deserve it. You've earned it. Tom told me after his change that sleep felt like coming home again. It wasn't just about the hours he gained, but the quality, the softness of that rest, the way morning light didn't sting his eyes, but welcomed him gently. He felt a little more like himself, and in that he found courage to keep making small changes. Your body, no matter how many years you carry, is still listening. It remembers its own rhythms, even if they've been muted or distorted. Even after decades, your organs and systems want to cooperate, to find harmony again. This is not a battle, but a conversation, and you hold the power to change the tune. When nighttime interrupts your rest, it can feel like your body is turning against you. But the truth is, it's signaling a need, a plea for a different kind of care. By shifting when and how you hydrate, by managing salt and movement thoughtfully, you're answering that plea. You're reclaiming your nights, not through force, but through understanding. This journey isn't about perfection or instant results. It's about gentle patience, self-compassion, and steady progress. Maybe the first night you still wake up twice, but by the third or fourth, those awakenings grow fewer, and the quality of your sleep deepens. With time, you'll notice how much more alive mornings feel, the lightness in your step, the calm in your thoughts, the renewed sense of possibility. So I invite you now to try this for yourself. For 3 days, start your mornings with a deliberate glass of water. Carry a bottle and sip throughout the early hours. Let your afternoons and evenings be lighter on fluids and salt. Move gently in the late afternoon. See how your body responds, not with expectation, but with curiosity and kindness. Notice what changes, what stays the same, and what invites further adjustment. You are not alone on this path. Many have walked it before you, feeling the same doubts and fatigue, and found new life through these small changes. You carry decades of wisdom and resilience. Your body carries stories of strength and survival. Now is the time to listen deeply to both. Remember, waking up tired is not a sentence, it's a signal. It tells you something needs attention, care, and respect. And with the right approach, your nights can become a refuge once more, a place where rest comes freely, where the orchestra plays in harmony, and where you reclaim your peace. Thank you for trusting me to share this with you. I'm Dr. Michael Hanks, and I believe in the quiet